Hi, this is Justice with Tablet Pro. I am really excited about Rebelle 5, and I want to talk about what features in Rebelle 5 will make you a better artist and will help you sell more of your work. Now, some of you are not selling your work at all, you're just creating artwork for fun. Rebelle 5 is more enjoyable to use because of a couple key features, and so I want to jump into those features and why I think you should jump to the upgrade. If you use a stylus and a Windows tablet, this is a great channel for you, so please subscribe and click the notification icon right now. Having done this for a long time, I have an affiliate relationship with Clip Studio Paint, with ArtRage, with Rebelle, and with a handful of other ones, and so I'm giving you my honest opinion. I don't get paid anything extra for referring Rebelle versus referring Clip Studio or some of the other ones. So if you guys want to support me, my family, and this channel, please use the link that I have in the description. I really appreciate that. All right, thanks. So there's four main things inside of Rebelle 5 Pro that are going to make your job as an artist easier, more enjoyable, that'll help you sell more art and create better quality art, which is really the goal. It's the satisfaction of creating better art, the process of creating artwork, which is what we're trying to do, and that I think Rebelle 5 really nails. So the first thing I want to talk about is the pigment color mixing. This is awesome. This is a world's first. That means no other digital art program does this right now. So without getting into too much color theory, I want to talk about what it does for you. So here we're going to pick a yellow, and let's see, we're pick something a little bit chunkier, and this one is sort of like cyan, and we're going to do a magenta. Now there's a reason for doing these three colors instead of RGB, which is what is traditionally used to mix colors on a screen. So here, we're going to do the same thing on a new layer, and this one has pigments turned on. Pigments, again, is a pro feature, well worth it. You're going to make much better art with this version. Okay, so let's do that same thing again. We're going to do yellow, magenta, and kind of like cyan. Okay, so here, when we go over here, we're going to switch to just a mixing brush. We're just going to blend these, and we're going to get some colors. And there's a fairly decent, this does a fairly decent job of mixing and blending the colors. You're going to see some purpley colors here, and over here we're going to see some oranges. All right, those look okay. So we're going to go over here. We're going to jump to our pigment layer, and we're going to push these together. You're going to see these beautiful colors. And when you're creating artwork, even if you're an average traditional artist, if you can create artwork that has beautiful colors, has a beautiful palette, and it has texture, and when you print it, it actually has these very canvas-like textures in it. It looks like traditional art. You're going to be able to do a whole lot with that type of artwork. If you can't do those, if the colors are a little on the dull side, it makes a massive difference whether or not people are going to be interested, even you interested in the artwork that you're creating. Again, this is where all the enjoyment comes in when it comes to digital art. It's that process, that joy of creating, that feeling like you're in the flow, like you can really do the best art, the best, like what's inside you is coming out accurately. That's what I really like about Rebelle 5 Pro, is it helps what's inside come out in a way that's not disappointing, that's really, really rich and satisfying. Okay, so here you can see how this looks. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about the colors here, and I'm going to grab from the oil pigment color set, which for the first time, something that I'm really, really happy about is they're using oil pigment names. So I had to research some of these because I did not know them. So to show color names, we have cadmium, yellow, and gold, ochre, and it's something other than quinacridone magenta that took me a while, and I think I'm saying it correctly, and Prussian blue and cobalt cerulean. And so here we're going to grab Prussian. Okay, we are going to switch to Prussian blue, and we're going to switch over here, and we're going to paint some thick paint. Now, when it's thick paint, this is, I believe, called mass tone. So that's what all of this stacked on top of each other, what it looks like when it's thick. So we're going to do that same thing over here. And those of you with a keen eye will have noticed something already. The mass tone properties here are very, very different. When you pull this down, we're pulling from Prussian blue to gray. So we're pulling the color out of it. Here, we're doing something different. Oops. We need to switch to the right layer. And let's switch to just pulling the paint out. And I want you to look at how different this is. This is pulling out all of these colors that exist in the spectrum underneath the thick paint as it gets thinner. So this is introducing light, this is introducing transparency, this is introducing the colors, moving through an arc through the color wheel. So we're not moving just straight across over here. We're going through the colors that we would see in real life if we're working with traditional art, with traditional oil paints and colors. And this applies to all the colors inside of Rebelle 5. So not just the oils and the acrylics. Okay, so really, really cool, big difference, and these are going to blend beautifully. So if you can produce beautiful colors and beautiful textures, but you can't print them, well, that's a problem. So one of the things that I used to do if I was trying to print some artwork is I would make my canvas size humongous. I would deal with the lag. The creation process would suffer, but I could produce something, I could print something that looked okay. Not like traditional artwork. It was not on that same level, but it was okay. Here we have something totally different. So there's a new feature in Rebelle 5 Pro called NanoPixel. So we can, the export is in 5 Pro. So what you can do is you can have a normal size canvas. This canvas right here is 11 inches by 8 inches, roughly, about the size of a regular sheet of paper. So here we can double the size, triple the size, or quadruple the size. This means that this sheet of paper size canvas is being printed at 46 by 33 inches. And I want you to see what that looks like. You can choose a number of different formats here, and let's leave it at JPEG, and we're going to print out. And now let's go ahead and open that up. This is at 4x scaling. And let's choose open. Again, keep in mind, this is a small canvas that's low latency and very, very easy to work in. Now, if we zoom in here, what I want you to see is way, way zoomed in. This looks still very, very printable. Now let's turn that off. I want to give you an idea of what we're talking about in difference. So let's go into the visual settings panel. Use the artist pad here. We're going to go down here. We're going to turn off NanoPixel. And as we zoom in, you're going to see what you see in every other drawing program, unless you're using a massive, massive canvas size. You can see the pixels. When you print this out, this does not look the same. This does not look good, especially if you go big. Okay, so let's look at this right here. Let's turn that back on. Very, very, very different. Okay, so if you're creating artwork, if you're creating an artwork for sale or for printing in your house or for friends, anything, this is going to really up your game. Now, the next feature, if you're doing digital artwork, one of the things that you need to be able to do is you need to be able to produce time lapses. That is a requirement. If you're showing your artwork, if you're on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, you have to be able to do time lapse. And so in Rebelle 5, is Timelapse Recording. And I used to jump over in Eclipse Studio Paint to do this because it had it in Rebelle, didn't it? Rebelle was my favorite program, and I would go over, and Eclipse Studio Paint's great. It's great for a lot of different things, just not great for, it's not as good as Rebelle for natural media, which is where I wanted better colors and I wanted texture. Texture was really important to me. So this one, you can do your capture interval, your frame rate, your codec, your quality, and you can go all the way as high as 2160p, which is really cool because that's higher, a lot higher than you can do in Clip Studio. So that means that I can produce time lapses that are better quality with a lot less work. So if I was using, because I was doing OBS Studio in order to record these, and recording them there, I meant I had to export them, and then I had to do all this capture interval work myself inside of my video editing program, whether it's Video Leap or DaVinci Resolve or Premiere. That took a lot of time and effort. This is perfect, and it does the capture minus the UI, so you're just getting the canvas, which is great. So time-lapse recording, this is really a big deal. And now the last thing I'm going to talk about in this video is the new brush creator. If you can record your artwork and export it, you can record the creation of the artwork and you can export the final image, and you can create beautiful colors, but the brushes and the tools are a pain in the butt to work with, then you're still missing one of the key components. So this component I'm going to talk about, they've added a whole lot of power to the brush engine. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to hop over to Express Oils, and I have a brush here that I created. So this brush, nope, not that one. This one has 4 different heads, the shapes here, and as I push harder, I'm going to get each of these. So let's see if I can demonstrate that. Here's the first one, second one, third one, fourth one. Now I'm increasing the size very, very negligibly. I'm increasing the size a very small amount, and down here I'm using a little bit of tip tilt. I can actually control this way, and this is great, lovely. I really like that. However, that's not the magic of this brush. Something that I have always really liked doing in Paint Tool Sci version 2 that I have not been able to replicate in version 4 of Rebelle is this push and pull, the drag, the mix, all of those different things combined into one brush, so I'm not switching back and forth as much. Rebelle does a very good job of allowing you to switch back and forth. I still don't want to do it if I don't have to. So here, they have the curve editors, and you can adjust the curves for the different paint modes, as well as size and opacity and tilt and a bunch of other things. And if you guys want to learn more about it, I'll be making a tutorial series on that, so subscribe here, and you can subscribe on the Escape Motions YouTube page as well. So here, this is where blending starts. Blending starts right here and with heavy pressure right in the beginning. Paint does not start until way over here. I have to push really hard to start painting. I want this specifically, and I'm going to show you what this does. So let's make sure that we are on the right mode, paint and blend. So here, let's push here so I can cut in, pull out, and then trim it. And I can use this with a level of pressure that is useful for me. If I want to add paint, I can push harder, and I can adjust it so I'm not using the giant brush when I push harder. But here I can push and pull and blend. Let's go over here where we can see this a little bit better. We're going to cut in, and then let's pull out. So if I have a color here that I don't want to sample, I'm not looking at sampling everything. I'm wanting to adjust a line that I made. So here I can just push the paint around again, and I can mix it. And I love this for trying to get that that perfect exact shape. Now this brush has a lot of texture in it. If I wanted to do this with something that had less texture, I could create cleaner lines here the same way. But for those of you who understand what this is awesome. You can basically do anything. You can make your brush do pretty much anything you want it to do. You can reverse the curves, you can turn them to the very lowest or the highest, or put multiple points in it. So let me show you real quickly. Here, I can add a handful of different points inside of this curve if I really wanted to have that really unique path there. As a tablet using artists, the tablet mode inside of Rebelle 5 is awesome. I'll just point this out quickly. You can now have everything show up just in the center, and it'll close the other panels for you so that you can very quickly go in and out. With tablet mode, you can show everything. You can show all the panels or turn them all off or have them pop up one at a time in the middle and go back and forth. Awesome for Tablet Pro users. This is a huge, huge deal. They nailed it on this, and this feature was set up better than I had thought it could be set up. They had some new things there. You can turn those on here, right down here. In the center of the screen, show only one panel at once when tablet mode. Very nicely done, and all the keyboard shortcuts are pre-set up. This is a Rebelle 5 artist pad. I can put this on my website if you want it. Throw a couple comments in the comment section so that I know that people are interested in this. I'm not just putting it up for myself. Okay, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for a lot of new tutorials on Rebelle 5 coming up. Subscribe again to this channel and to the Escape Motions YouTube page. All right, have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next video.